What were we going about?
Nazis built the pyramids, the aliens started the Holocaust. It's just...
We're talking about serial killers today. They're ghosts.
It's only going to get worse from here. I'm just going to go ahead and start this off real quick of just saying people are stupid, alright?
Hey, I thought we were going to not do F-bombs.
Well, you know what? I just have to, because if you are out there believing a lot of this shit that we're going to be talking about today, then you honestly need to fix your self. God damn it. Okay, now that I got that out.
I'm out.
Welcome everybody to The Calling Couple. I am your host, Gage, along with my beautiful, lovely, wonderful co-host,
Sage.
And today we are going to be talking about gullibility. I mean, how gullible people really are.
We're talking about the gobble.
Yeah, well, we will be talking about some gobble, but it's not going to be the sitting down eating dinner kind of shit. But before we get into that, if you've been liking our shit, please, by all means, leave us a like down below. Leave us a comment of what your favorite episode or thing that we have talked about is. And also give us that share and give us the subscribe so you can keep up with all the other shit that we got coming out. But make sure that you hit that goddamn bell so you can keep notified of when we come out with some more shit, because we got more shit to talk about. And it's going to be the same old shit. See, I'm not dropping the F-bombs. I'm dropping the S's. Okay.
And you said goddamn, too.
Yeah, well, I say what I said. But no, so today...
That's what I said.
Yeah, today I really want to be talking about some of the bullshit that is out there of, like, people just falling for anything. Like, my biggest pet peeve is seeing all these, like, commercials for, like, the sports betting and shit. Like, oh, yeah, you know, it's completely legal for you to do that just because you're doing it from the access of your phone. So go over here to DraftKings or what's those other ones that they got out there?
I only know the DraftKings.
FanDuels and all that kind of shit.
Something.
And it's like, how stupid do you have to be really to be like, oh yeah, man, I win a lot of money from this, but you're having to invest your own money into something that they can just rig to say, oh man, sorry, you didn't do that. Even if you're watching the player that you choose or the team that you're choosing.
It's just called gambling, babe. Lots of people do that.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just like, stop it. Stop falling for that shit.
Don't stop gambling, babe. I work at a casino.
Well, okay, there you have a better chance than what you would at these
I feel like you have just
apps.
much of a chance as on the apps.
No, I don't think so, because these apps are controlled by anybody. Anybody can do this shit, and they're just like, oh man, keep giving us the money. You'll have that 1% chance of winning, and it's like.
I thought it was based off sports.
It is, but
well, that's not rigged. That's if they win the game or not.
It can be rigged. It can be rigged by saying,
it's illegal to rig those things. It's illegal to rig games.
Yes, but that's where you're taking the bigger gamble by going to a app instead of a established company where casinos and shit, you know.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like we're about to do an argument, because I'm all for the game betting apps, because people do that all the time. Like at work, we'll do that. Mm-hmm. Like they have a little piece of paper, you know, and you like pick what you think the score is going to be and all that kind of stuff. Same difference.
It is, but at the same time, you're entrusting that this app that just started is going to be.
I know, but like.
Flawless.
Like say you're betting, you go to the app and you bet that your team is going to win at a certain thing. Then you watch the game. You're watching the game and you win. Like your team wins. Mm-hmm. We're like, oh shit, I won because the team won. You can't go to the app and the app's like, oh shit, guess what? Your team didn't win. You literally just watched it on TV. Your team won.
Right, but
it can't rig it.
No, but some of these are making it down to specific players and all this and that.
Oh yeah, stats and stuff.
Right, and that's where I'm just like, that's where they're you, because
you
could be like, oh man, they're going to be able to have like a 58 point game. Statistics. I don't do this shit. So
I was saying, but they do. The people who bet that shit, they do. They watch people's stats, and they're like, okay, by this certain game, they're gonna have these many stats, and if they don't, that's on the person who bet. That's their gamble.
Yeah, but that's where they can be like, well, it was 49.8. So why the fuck?
Watch the games. If you watch the games, you don't, because all you gotta do is watch the games, watch the stats. They
Look,
can't
just go
rig
buy
that shit.
Just go buy lottery tickets or scratch offs, or go to a casino.
That's the same difference.
Just do it
It's not
that
the
way.
same, but it's the same difference. That's what I'm saying. Like you just don't understand the stats. I don't either.
I don't understand
either.
these apps. Like, some states don't allow you to gamble, but yet, hey, it's okay. We're beating the system by letting you do it from your phone. Like, come the on.
Well, okay. So I do agree with that in a sense because I feel that way. Because, since I work at a casino, I watch people play the games all day long and all that. And no, I don't understand gambling. You could do so much more with that money. And then some people who come in there and they blow their entire checks. But anyways, what I'm going to get at is they do have games and apps on your phone for the same thing. Those little slot machines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can play that all day long on your phone.
Yeah.
Or you can play all sorts of table games on your phone too. People do that all the time, and you can bet real world money in those games.
Oh yeah. No, but that's
what I'm getting at. Like, is that stupid? Is that stupid?
You have better odds doing that than you do playing these sports ones.
No, you don't, because if you're watching the fucking stats all year round, you know what's coming. You know, like, how someone plays how a certain way. The only way it could be rigged or faked is if someone's shaving points or someone's bought off, which is illegal. So you have more of a chance of doing that if you are an avid, stats watcher.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, is that you can't just... Oh.
No, you can't just go on there and do it. So people who do that, I think you need to know a little more about what you're doing, for sure. Like, if you went on one of those little sports things and made a bet, yeah, you'd probably lose because you don't know how to watch stats and stuff. I would definitely fucking lose.
Oh, I'm losing, no doubt. Like,
yeah, I don't know how to watch stats either, so I wouldn't. I mean, I probably could. We could probably figure it out. We just don't want to.
Here's my thing, is that if you guys are doing that shit and it's working for you, then you need to fucking let me know in the comments below if these apps are actually worth it.
Yeah, is anyone, doing, gambling or betting apps or anything like that? Like, even the casino ones I was thinking about, the slot machines, real world money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anybody doing that? Is it working for you?
Yeah.
Has it worked for you? I want to know.
Or are you just dumping in money just to play this game and it's not doing anything but giving you...
In that case, man, I got sucked into some games. So I got Merge Magic. I think you did the Candy Crush fad.
I did, but I didn't really dump a lot of money into it. I
didn't dump a lot of money into my game either, but I dumped real world money and I was kind of shamed by that. I was like, damn, I can't believe I actually spent real money on this phone game. It was fun though, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind spending a little bit of money on phone games and shit. I really don't, but at the same time, I'm not gonna spend my entire paycheck and hope that I win. I mean, there's people that have done that shit, and I'm like, whoa. But that's also the same people that spend their entire paychecks on getting into video game competitions and hoping they win.
Have we talked about your the people you lived with?
Yes, we have.
We have?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Every time I think about that, paying money for games and stuff, that's all I think about.
I think that was on our video game episode, and good God, that was disgusting. But that's what I mean, though, is there's people that are spending a lot of money on these betting apps that I'm like, dude, you have a better chance going to a gas station, playing the fucking scratch-offs and winning, and you're not spending near as much money as you would, because you have to spend a certain... It's like doing a bank account, where you have to spend... such amount of money to open up a betting account, and then you get to bet from there. And I'm like, dude, that's sketchy as it is.
Yeah, you have to pay money to have the account monthly.
Yeah.
And then you have to make your bets on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, the app is getting money from you, bet or no bet.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is just absolute garbage. I don't know if I would trust that. I mean, you have better chances of going out and getting credit cards. And by the way, what's with all these credit card apps or all these credit card things that you can go do? Like, to me, there's too many.
That's always been a thing. That's not new.
I know, and that's what I'm saying is that it's gotten ridiculous how much they're trying to. It's credit cards, phones, betting apps, or any of this shit has gotten so out of control. That it's like, hey, go ahead and come over here and do with us, and then we're going to you over, but then we're going to create a sister company to be like, hey, we offer the better deals even though we're the same motherfucking people. Mm-hmm. And we're going to sit here and tell you it's okay to go ahead and we'll pay off that debt so you can start over here.
Yep,
and
that right there. That is right. That's the vicious cycle right there. It's like, we know you're in massive debt, So why don't you come over here and get some credit from us to pay off your debt, and then you can make small payments to us to where, like, and we'll get that debt paid off. I'm just like, that's still debt. You've just started it over now. And it's like, that's where people don't understand. It's like, you're not erasing your debt. You're just starting it over. Like, oh, well, I've bought myself more time. Like, no, you've stretched out your payments. That's all you've done. So now you're owing even more money because of interest.
Yep, and that's where they get you is like, they tell you, oh, yeah, well, you can get approved now for only 2.9 interest for certain people. Like, that's what you need to understand.
And for only 6 months.
Yeah.
After your 6 months is up, it's like 10% interest.
It skyrockets. It's not...
Yeah, it's like the highest interest you can get, because if you don't get it paid off in 6 months, that's your problem, even though the payments are set for 3 years.
See, and used car dealerships are the same way, so be careful. Like, we're trying to point this out because we know several people that have fallen for this type of shit, and now they're just like, I don't know what to do. We don't have that because we don't trust credit cards. We don't trust any of that shit.
Yeah, we don't have credit cards because we
stay
have debt. We have debt.
Yes, but we stay within our means of living to be comfortable without having that shit. And
and people are always just like, because we are those people who say a lot, like, oh, I can't afford to do that right now and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, well, if you guys are debt free, then how can you guys not afford to do that and all that kind of stuff? It's like, because we're trying to stay debt free.
Yeah, we're trying to stay within the means of our living that we can afford. And trust me, it's not easy, especially with everything nowadays.
Yeah, because every penny we have goes to something. Like, it has to. Yeah. And then everyone's like, well, just go get like a little loan or go get a credit card, like to afford those things. I'm like, that just makes me owe more money. That doesn't help me at all. That just gives me another stress to think about.
Yeah, and see, that's where, like, even our friends that are just like, how the are you guys doing this? Like, how did you do this from, like, I can't live that way. Not just because I can't start it, it's just because it's hard for me to get started. And it's like, no, not really. All you got to do is just say, I'm comfortable with what I have right now. Like, yes, do we have dreams and aspirations that we want to get to? Of course.
Yeah, and do we whine about them sometimes? Hell yeah. Because we want more than we have. Everybody does.
But we live comfortably by the fact of what we have. Now, granted, we do have some more benefits than most people, which I understand. Like with this house being inherited to us and all that kind of stuff. But even before then, we were still doing just fine without... I mean, we weren't living like the luxury life by no fucking means, but we were getting by.
Yeah.
And it was because I got one credit card, and it bought the desktop that we were originally recording off of this for, and I couldn't do it no more.
That credit stressed you out so much. You're like,
punch in the face.
This.
Yeah, I paid that bitch off, and I was done. I was like,
I'm never doing that again.
I was like, it's paid off. I'm canceling this card. I'm done. Now, I use bank loans, but like I said, when I use the bank loans, I always make sure that it's no more than what we need and that we can get by with. And we've done pretty well. Like, our biggest
we got one paid off. We got one paid off, and then we didn't renew it or anything like that, which is, like, really, I'm really proud of us for that.
Yeah. But our biggest debt is hospital bills on both sides. That's really our biggest debt. We got one car payment that we have, and then...
But it's decent. I didn't even know that until I told somebody how much our car payment was, and they're like, wow, that's amazing. You must have really good credit. And I'm like, no, I don't, but thank you.
Well, and that's because we also sit there and ask all the information before we go and do a deal. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Oh, yeah. And weirdly enough, when you actually talk to the person you're making the loan with or anything like that, and they're like, okay, well, the payment's going to be $500 a month. And you're just like, well, I'm going to have to go somewhere else because I really can't afford that. Like, not in a, you better make me a better deal or I'm leaving. But in, like, a genuine...
punch in the face!
Like, oh, that's really way out of my price range. I genuinely can't do that. I mean, look, you're my bank. Look at my finances. Do you think I can afford that? And they will. They'll look at your finances. They're like, you know what? You really can't. Let's look at your finances real quick and see what we think you could afford.
Yes.
And it's your bank, so they're going to see your money coming in and out. And they'll make a reference with it, and they'll be like, okay, what do you think about making $280 payments?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I think I can afford that. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll work with you on it.
Yeah, and see, that's the biggest thing right there, guys, is that if you're gonna do...
Sorry, it was a deep breath.
I was like, what the f*** was that? But if you guys are gonna do these loans and stuff, like, the way I do it is I take the least amount that I have to pay each month to make it affordable, which it extends it out longer. So if I end up able to make a little bit more, say my payment is $283 a month, right? I usually try to pay $300 each payment.
Me too. Yeah.
Because the reason for that is you're paying the interest off faster than you are paying the loan.
Yeah, because
itself.
what they ask me is because I always give $300, and they're like, would you like the extra, I don't know, $15 back, or do you want to put it towards your interest? I'm like, just put that 15 towards the interest.
Mm-hmm. And then each year for income tax, here's the biggest thing that I've noticed with a lot of our friends that we've talked to about this stuff. And we usually try not to talk about finances with anybody.
Yeah.
But
we're not someone to talk about finances.
Our biggest thing is that they are like, oh, yeah, man, I went and bought this on my income tax. I went and done this and that.
Yeah, they wait till income tax to get, like, those little things that you've really been wanting all year.
Which is great.
Yeah, I get it. We've done that before. Mm-hmm. But what we like to do better is this.
Is we like to take at least $1,000. Whatever we get, even if it is $1,000, we like to take just that and go put it on our loan to help pay a big chunk of it off. Now, some people are getting several $1,000s back every year, which is fine.
Well, we had some pretty bad years where we did 1099, which is like independent job, all that kind of stuff. Like, you don't get your taxes pulled out of your paychecks, so you have to pay them yourself at the end of the year. So if you ever get a 1099, just so you know, you got to pay taxes.
Yes.
They don't pay you back. You got to pay their taxes.
Set money aside.
So every penny that Gage got back for his income taxes went straight into my 1099 taxes. So
yeah, and that's
we owed money that year, and it was terrible.
Yep. So just be careful on those 1099 jobs. They seem great at first, but just make sure that you are accommodating for the taxes at the end of the year.
What I got the advice from someone who did 1099s. I got this advice too late, but they said put 40% back. I don't know, it sounds like a lot, and that's like almost half your check, but it covers taxes and anything else that's going to come up for you. It's like if you have a 1099, just go ahead and put 40% of your checks back, because if you got a 1099, you're getting a pretty fucking hefty paycheck because nothing's being taken out of it.
Yeah,
you're getting straight cash. So, put 40% of it back for everything that's going to come up.
Yeah, for real. I mean, just do that, because then it helps you out in the long run, because trust me, what you would be spending in your taxes is going to f*** you the next year. So, just do that. Just be smart on that shit. But that's what we like to do, is we like to take a chunk of our income from our taxes and put it back into our bills. Whether it's our debt or if it's something that we can be like, hey, we're going to pay on the next couple months. That way we ain't got to stress out about that. Things of that nature. Just prioritize your money a little bit better. I'm not saying that you can't work and have dreams of getting this item that you want, which is fine. But just make sure that you're doing it smartly, and try to get rid of those credit cards and actually get rid of them. Try to also get rid of them fucking phones. Like, stop getting into these massive ass plans to get the best new phone, all this and that. Are you looking for a new phone plan that won't cost you an arm and a leg? Well, here at the CCP Communication, we offer the best plan out there. We offer a lifetime phone plan for the low cost of $300 a week per plan. Get limited calls, $1 per word texting, and the best out-of-service range we can offer. If you sign up today, you'll get our new Nokia 69. This all-new phone is supplied to us from the back of a sketchy guy's van. Simple to use. Just pull out the antenna and wait for the dial-up tone to make a call. This phone has the top quality camera that is used by every police suspect's photos as seen on the news. Text your family, your friends, and loved ones with ease on the new vintage style rotary pad. This phone also offers a 50-foot cord for a short battery life, so you could still move around. Come learn more about our amazing deals today by visiting your local CCP Communications. You know, the biggest thing that Sage realized is that I've always done the Walmart prepaid phones. And you can get those set up to where you can pay them regularly and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that she noticed is that we were able to go and buy really nice phones and keep those same goddamn plans to where they never they never tried to come to us and be like, oh, well, you should do a 2-year contract to get this kind of phone, all this and that. No, because we just went and bought the phone itself and had it activated on our plan. Saved us a lot of money.
Yeah.
It saved us a shit ton. We went out and bought these really nice phones. They were $300 a piece, and they were great till we broke them. That sucked on our part. But
that was our fault, though, not the phone or company.
Right. But that's where we saved ourselves a lot of money from trying to get into a contract with them to where we could just pay month to month and be done. So, guys, look into that. Look into doing that to where it's affordable for you, but then at the same time, you can be like, well, you know what? I got a little extra money. I really want a nice phone. Go get you a nice phone. Just buy the phone.
That's the thing, though, is a lot of people are just like, I have the money for a nice phone. And then the companies are all like, they're like, oh, well, you can do a contract with us, and we'll give you a phone.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're stuck in that contract until you get that $2,000 phone paid off. And it's not worth $2,000.
No, and that's not even paying. You're like paying for the phone plus the plan.
Yeah.
Plus the insurance, plus this. And
yeah, and my phone payment is $45, and that's with taxes included.
Mm-hmm.
And like these people who have their like brand new phones and all that, $200 payments a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, I only pay $45 a month.
Mm-hmm. And if you get those scam artist Apple phones, I'm going to tell you right now, those iPhones, those are the biggest scams, and people are falling for it. Like it's, oh yeah, these are the best phones out there. Your sister has been an iPhone girl her entire goddamn life.
That's fine, man. I mean,
and
everyone's got their thing.
And
like
yet
we
she
like
looks
podcasting.
at our phones and she's just like, how the do you guys get better quality pictures, better quality this, better quality that? And it's
she has never said that to me.
She has to me. Because I'm taking some pictures and she's like, what phone are you using for that? And I'm like, oh, this cheap ass Walmart phone. And she's just like, that's oh my god. I pay for a lot on this phone and I don't get that.
Yeah, quality wise, it takes really good pictures, but iPhones, they do a lot more with the picture.
Yeah, but you got to pay extra for each little individual thing. And that's
I don't know how iPhones work, man.
Yeah, you got to pay for the adapter for your speaker or your headphones. You got to pay for apps.
Oh, the new iPhones now, they have the C charger. They switched back over to us.
They finally did? Okay. Well,
and they switched the iPhones over to our chargers.
I'm just saying it's a scam because so where I was actually going earlier with these used car places is you got to watch out for these motherfuckers. Like, yeah, it's a buy here, pay here, we'll buy your car, all this and that, but they are kind of you too because if you are not mechanically inclined, you're going to buy a car that's going to fall apart on you in the next 6 to 8 months. Then you're like, well, this car's really screwed me. Your sister is yet a prime example of that. She actually asked me to go with her.
Is it just a Bash My Sister episode, huh?
No, because I got another one I'm going to talk about. But she asked me, she was like, hey, will you go with me to check out this car? I really want to look at it and all this and that. And
good story. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool, not a problem. So I go out there and I test drive the car. I'm looking it over, and the guy wanted $5,000 for this car. And I'm like, this car is maybe worth $32,000, $35,000 at the most. And then, but he was adamant. He was like, no, I want $5,000 for it and all this and that. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at your sister and I was like, I wouldn't by no means get this car for that price, but it's up to you. This is your decision. This is your money. You only brought me here for advice, and I'm giving you my advice, and I'd say no. Now, she went ahead and bought the damn thing, and within 8 months, that car fell apart on her, and she's just like, I don't know what the and I was like, well, I'm not sitting here trying to be rude and say I told you so, but maybe next time you should listen to advice when it's given.
You're totally that person.
But now we do have a friend that did something similar. She went to a buy here, pay here place, and she bought this car. It was a nice little car, but holy shit, when she got to our house to show it off to us, I was like, hell yeah, that's pretty nice. And then I was like, well, how much are you paying on interest? She was like, oh man, I'm paying really good on my interest. It's only 22%. Me and Dad both were like, take that motherfucker. Oh my God! Back now. She was like, what, really? I'm like, 22%? Holy that's
like,
a
off
lot.
of what? Off of what? Do you know how much money that is?
Yeah, I'm like, they are highway robbing you right now. And she's like, really? And I was like, yes. So she takes it back and she ends up going somewhere else. And she got it down to a 5% interest. And she was like, okay, yeah, they were robbing me. I was like, yeah, like, don't just get suckered in. Like, and if you don't know something, it is okay to go to a banker and talk to them. They will talk to you about a lot of that shit. If you have a bank that you regularly go to and you got your own like little personal banker that helps out, they will help you out.
And it's always nice to have like You're the banker that you always go to for your problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't just get into something. And by doing that as well, the bank will be like, hey, we can actually give you a loan with a way less interest rate and all that kind of stuff for this vehicle, so you ain't got to deal with them. And it helps build your credit. It does all this and that. So, but you just got to be smart with your finances. Now, that's my thing is like, don't be gullible. Don't be, as Andy Griffith put it in his old episode back in the Andy Griffith Show, of don't fall for the first flashy thing you see. Take your time, do some research, and actually figure out if that's what you really want. Like, that's the biggest thing. Something that's been called out here lately that I've noticed is Walmart. Those rollback prices and shit. They're like, oh, it was this and now it's this, and they pull the sign back and see it was the same price. That, yet again, is a scam. It's telling you like, oh yeah, you're saving money when actually you're not. You're actually just spending the exact same quality.
Yeah, it just has a rollback sticker on it. The price is exactly the same.
Yep, and it's going to be the same quality, same thing, but if the price is the same, so you're not saving money.
I have actually personally seen the rollback price be above the original asking price.
And that's where we're going to go right into this. Stop going to Black Fridays, okay? Actually, I really hate the fact that they call it Black Friday, but stop going to those.
Because the prices are normally blacked out. It's not a racial thing.
Well, even still. But that's where I think is absolute bullshit. I've worked at Walmart for a couple different stores, but I worked 2 Black Fridays, and that. Like, people are like, oh my God, I'm saving so much money, all this and that. If you really want to see what these prices are, take your phone or take a notepad and pen and go around and look for all the stuff that you really want to buy, okay?
Yeah, wait for Cyber Monday.
Well, not just that, but like, say you want like a 55-inch TV. Go price every single one of the 55-inch TVs that they have. And then on Black Friday, when Black Friday sales are coming up and all this and that, and you see what they're going to be putting them out as, then you can say, well, they're the exact same price or they're more expensive. Like,
or they're like a penny difference.
Yeah, like, don't be suckered because it's supposed to be a sale. Okay, that's bullshit. Don't be doing that. Black Friday is the biggest scam that I've ever seen. If you want a good Black Friday, I've seen a post that really made sense, was drop the price of groceries. Although, gas stations, get in on this. Drop the price of gas so we can all
just
afford
for Black Friday at least.
Yeah, just so we can afford it. Now, I know you guys are going to be sold out real quick because people are going to be filling up their cars and their gas cans and all that, but, you know, that's the kind of Fridays I could get behind. It's the
holiday season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the grocery one I can totally get behind.
I totally could. That one I'm like all for, but you got to watch out for that too, because they may be like, it was this, now it's this, and even though it was the same price or it's hiked up. So I just say get rid of Black Friday completely, because honestly that has nothing to do with the holiday season. That is complete consumerism, and it's just the corporate companies that are just like,
well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so
it's just consumerism, period. Yeah.
Quit falling for it. You know, like,
well, same thing with Christmas. Christmas is not anything to do with a holiday.
Well, that's what
just consumerism.
Black Friday is for
the presents
saving you on doing your Christmas shopping, and it's like, it is crazy. Like, I'm gonna actually look this up. Like, the average deaths that happen on Black Friday.
Deaths?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In the last 12 years, there have been an average of 44 separate Black Friday incidences, resulting in 11 deaths and 108 injuries in the United States.
In 12 years?
In 12 years. That's
actually not bad. I thought that would be like per year.
Well, the most of these incidences, 69%, occurred inside retail stores where tensions run high amongst shoppers fighting over limited stock items on sale. I remember.
So 44 deaths in 12 years?
No, 11 deaths.
11 deaths.
And 108 injuries.
Why did I get 44?
44 separate Black Fridays.
Oh, okay.
I just can't. I can't see why people would do this, where they are just like, oh.
Okay, you know why? Because every Black Friday, in every building or where it's happening at, there is one deal going on with one item that is just like amazingly cheap. And it's normally a TV or something. I think last year it was the new Xbox. But there is something where it is incredibly, amazingly cheap. and you have to like be in a line for it and stuff. Even with like our Walmart here, it does like the whole like velvet ropes things off and stuff.
Yeah.
And like you have to form a line here for, like it was all the way over in the freaking hunting section, but it was for the Xbox.
Oh yeah, and see, that's my thing is like
they're trying to like narrow it down, and then like you come in like the next day and everything is still there because no one Black Friday shops anymore. Around here.
Well, they have, but the things that are still on sale are things that they couldn't get rid of. Like they tried, but no one was willing to buy it, and so.
I know. I just remember when I was a kid going Black Friday shopping with my parents, and everything's being ripped off the shelves. Like the store is empty by the time Black Friday's over. Mm-hmm. And now as an adult, you go in the next day just for like grocery shopping or something, you know, and all the Black Friday shit is still there. Like even the TVs were still there.
Yeah. Well, and that's because no one can afford shit anymore.
Ah, that's what I'm getting at.
So here's the biggest thing that
can't even afford Black Friday.
The companies are really up on is that they've made everything so high on cost of living that their Black Friday sales are plummeting.
They mean nothing.
They're plummeting because no one can afford it.
Like, oh no one's buying our stuff. So the things people are buying, we got to raise the prices even more so we can actually make some money. Starting the vicious cycle over again. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're not making any money to spend at your guys' places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because we can't afford to live. Period. Like, I'm sorry, I would love to buy that brand new trinket that you just came out with, but I need food to live.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for real. Like they're sitting there just like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get 11,000 units of this so we can push it on Black Friday. But people are just sitting there like, well, I can only purchase this because I can barely afford it, but I'm gonna purchase it. So you got 11,000 units and you only sold 2,000 units. Well, you're f***ing yourself because you made everything else so goddamn expensive. No one can afford shit.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I digress.
I know it's like the people who are doing consumerism forgot how to do it. It's just like, you guys want us to buy all this shit, but you got to go on the other hand and make things to where we want to where we can.
Yeah, to make it an affordable. I mean, if
it's not even affordable, honestly, because people can be talked into anything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like we know some people who be buying shit when we know they can't afford it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's like, everyone is like that at a point.
Yeah, because what's next? They're going to be like, we got some food cards that you can sign up for a 5-year application to get a food card to keep going. And
babe.
No, not food stamps.
No. I'm talking about, they're already doing that with the food stuff. HelloFresh.
Oh my god. Thank you. Because I hate those things.
There's like 3 different freaking grocery apps, and they're just like, it makes everything so much easier and it's more affordable, and it portions everything out for you.
Oh my god, I hate those things.
I know you're so mad about it.
Oh god. Like, okay, I get like Grubhub and DoorDash and all that, delivering your food that you buy from a grocery store. I totally get that because you are too busy. But if you are too busy to actually be able to make your own food and be like, okay, dude, you're buying microwave food. Like, I don't understand.
HelloFresh is it is just groceries. It's just portioned for you already.
No, because I've seen the ads where they had them in little fucking microwave trays.
Yeah, there are some of those too. Yeah, of course.
And I'm just like, that's all you're doing is just buying microwaved food. Like,
but it's fresher than normal.
No, it's not.
I know.
No, it is not. I don't understand why people think that. Just because it's been in the freezer does not mean it's fresh. There's things called freezer burn, motherfucker.
No, you're so paranoid about freezer burn. But no, those things actually say like never been in a freezer or anything like that.
Well, how do they keep it fresh then?
Because it was just made like a few days ago.
That's not fresh. You know what's fresh? Going to your grocery store and picking it out right then and there.
No one's got time for that.
Well, you know what? That whole excuse is bullshit. Like, you got time to sit on your phone, watch Reels, watch TikTok, watch all this and that, but you ain't got time to get off your fucking ass and go to the store and get something?
Yeah.
Like, get the out of here. That
I know, because we're not like that.
No, we're not like... Okay, that's my thing, is I can prioritize. I can say, okay, I need to go get this done. Well, I better get up and go do it. Then I can spend the rest of my day doing whatever I want. But when you're just sitting there just like, oh man, you know, I just really can't get up right now to go do goddamn.
Yeah, when people are talking about the things that they go out and do, and you and I just can't really get behind that, because like you could do so much more with your time and all that. Like there are more valuable things and all that. Time is our value. Like a lot of people prioritize like money and the latest craze and all that kind of stuff, and our value system is based off time. Like, how much time does it take to do something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And so, our personal, you and I and our family, time is what is our value.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing that we've always heard from people is that, especially the elderly that are on their deathbeds and stuff, is they say, I wish I had done more time with this, or I had more time to do with that, because I really on not having or making the time for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's why we value time so much, is because we see these people that had these regrets on not utilizing their time to do it. That's where...
And I'm not talking about, like, crunch time. I'm not saying, like, you gotta squeeze everything you can do into a small amount of time. That way you have time to do fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm strictly talking about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, hanging out on a couch with your family, you know, playing with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
That is a valuable time for me. Or going grocery shopping with you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just you and I, just strolling down the aisles, picking out groceries. That's valuable time for me.
Yep. And that's the thing, though, is, like, people quit trying to, like, do whatever you want. But I'm going to say this, that you need to quit trying to worry about your fun time and worry about the time you have right now, right in front of you, and make it worth your while. Like,
Yeah, I know it's not like f***ing Mardi Gras, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to go to Walmart because that's, like, stressful and all that kind of stuff. And just, well, it's a part of time, so you got to make the most of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Well, that's like some of our friends seeing us rebuilding our farm. So the thing is we had our farm. We had our cows. We had our chickens. We had goats. We had all of that shit. But we decided to sell it because we thought we were moving, and that fell through.
We were going to do something else with our time.
Right. And so we got rid of everything now, and we do regret that. But now we're trying to build it back up, and people.
But he regrets it.
Yeah. Well,
Like I said.
it kept me busy.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's not we did something else with our time. I don't regret what we did with it.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun at the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm not going to think back and be like, oh, we could have done this with that time. We could have done that with this time.
Oh, God, no.
Like, no, we did something with it. We enjoyed it at the time. And now we're changing back.
Yeah,
I have no regrets.
we had so much fun with that time that we want to try to do that again. And that's where we are doing it, and people are just like, man, I just don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for that. But if you go on their Facebook, you can see that they're just spending hours sharing shit and all this and that. And it's like, hey, you could have used that bit of time
Mm-hmm.
doing all that shit to build the life that you want.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there are days where we take an entire day out of our time and and do hard work all day.
Mm-hmm.
But we're done at an early time, you know, like the sun's still up when we're done.
Mhm.
And so we sit back and relax and we enjoy our good work.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though, is you have the time. It's just how you spend it is up to you. And if you're spending it doing meaningless stuff, then you can't sit there and be like, well, I just didn't have the time. No, you had it. You just chose not to use it correctly.
Yeah, they just didn't prioritize their time.
Mm-hmm. And you got to prioritize more than just your time, man. You got to prioritize your money, your whatever you're doing with it.
You gotta prioritize what you want with your time. Because, like, you think about, like, the people who are like, man, I wish I had a farm like that. I just don't have the time to do that. Well, if they think they don't have the time to do it, maybe it's not really what they want.
Exactly.
Maybe what they're doing right now is what they want. And they just don't realize that. Or if they really are unhappy and they want something like that, then you need to change what you're doing with your time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, I think the biggest thing is on this episode is don't be so gullible. Do your research, try to figure it out, and see if it's actually really worth going all in, or it's not. And prioritize, whether it's your time, your money, your family.
I hate saying the word prioritize because I know that's been like it's used as a bad word now. You know, like, like it's stressful. It's a stressful word. Like, prioritize your shit. Like, get all this shit done in like 1 hour. It's like, no, it's not what I mean at all. I mean, like, prioritize what makes you happy when you're doing things. You know, like, dude, there are days where I don't want to do shit. I just want to crochet all fucking day long. Like, oh, well, you gotta prioritize what you're crocheting then at least. Because you got to make money when you're doing it. That way you can afford to do more things. Like, no, man, I just want to crochet, and I'm happy doing that. If I make something and it sells, that's amazing. But I just want to crochet in those at that time, you know.
Right. Well, but that's all I'm meaning is don't fall for every little shiny object that is thrown in your way. You know, the biggest,
I have that problem.
Yeah, the biggest thing that you can do is if you're in front of your phone or in front of your TV and all you're seeing are these ads that make you go like, oh man, I gotta have that. I wish I could have that. Put it down. Go outside. Go do something. Do something productive. Whether it's cleaning your house, whether it's going outside and mowing your yard, or just going outside and sitting. Do that. Put down the technology long enough to say, was that really something I wanted? Or
do you even remember what it was?
Yeah, for real. Like if it's
that's my issue right there.
If it's something that you can remember a few days later and you haven't seen any advertisement for it whatsoever, then maybe that's something that you are like, yeah, that's kind of what I want.
Yeah, if you're telling yourself, I need to buy this now before I forget about it, then you didn't really need it or want it.
Nope, you really didn't. And
because, like, if it's something you really needed and wanted, you wouldn't forget about it.
Yep. Yeah, and I get that some people are. My biggest thing is like how you were saying, prioritizing is stressing. Every day is stressful. Every fucking day that you wake up, it is going to be stressful. But it also depends on how you handle that stress and how you deal with it. You can sit here and say, oh, this day's just been so fucking stressful.
We're not saying don't get mental help either if you're having issues. We're not saying that. We're not saying people don't have mental health. We're just saying, we're just talking about like the things you want to prioritize. You should.
Yeah. So, like, the way I'm going to put this, the way I'm going to basically break this down, get rid of the HelloFresh and all those things. Get out there and actually go and buy your groceries. Because, honestly, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. Time that you're like, oh, I could use it for something else. Of course you could. But, at the same time, you're making sure that you're getting the right deals. You're making sure that you are buying good, fresh produce and food. That you are just like, okay, I can do that. You can prioritize how much meals you're going to make and all this and that. Because, honestly, they could tell you, oh, it feeds a family of 4 when it only feeds 2 people. So,
okay, and to add to that, not HelloFresh exactly, because that is a company. That's not individual people. Like how you were saying earlier, like, or how you're saying, like, you don't know if you're getting the best deals, the best groceries, the best produce fruit, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you go to the grocery store, you get to see all of them, and you get to pick out the best one.
Yeah.
There are people and places that do that for you, where they know how to grocery shop, probably even better than I do. Mm-hmm. And they go to the store for you, and they're like picking out certain things and all that. If you do Grubhub or delivery and all that kind of stuff, you know your local Grubhub person or your local Dash person, right?
Yeah, if you get the same one.
I'm saying, like, find a company like that. And find somebody where you can actually get to know your grocer.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could sit there and be like, hey, I'll pay you $40 if you go buy my groceries for the week. And they'd probably be like, okay, there you go. I mean,
some small towns, and probably in certain locations in the city and all that, they do have small deliveries like that.
Yeah.
We had one here in town for a while, that when I worked at a nutrition shop here in town, we did have somebody who was doing delivery systems and all that kind of stuff. And it was just some local guy who was just like, you'd call him up and be like, hey, can you go pick this up for me? Like, this is how much I got. Yeah. And he would go pick it out. And he was just some local guy. And he would go to the local grocery store, not the big franchise one, but the local one.
Yeah.
And he'd pick out all the best stuff for you. It didn't last very long, you know, because COVID hit and he had to shut down, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because you would think that was when it would have hit up the most.
Yeah, because our town, we don't have a DoorDash or Grubhub.
Yeah, they won't come out here.
They won't.
This is too far for them.
But, I mean, so a big thing is, like, it's all about convenience, because out here, it's not convenient for us.
Yes, we've had so many of our city friends come out here and be like, this is the most inconvenient little town. Mm-hmm. And we're just like, this is life, man. This is what it's about. Like, what, you can't just do, like, delivery and all that kind of stuff? And it's just like, nope, you gotta go do it yourself.
All I'm saying is that you can prioritize your time to get out there and go do it yourself, and that way you know it's done right, the way you want it to be done, because you're doing it yourself.
I think the only delivery we got around here is pizza.
Yeah. But, and like you were saying with our friends and stuff, how they're just like, man, this is so inconvenient. Because, like, for those that have, like, watched Yellowstone and want to go out and move out to the country and shit like that, I want you to understand
I know,
this.
So many people who said that. I'm like, you would not last 2 seconds without your local, you know, this or that.
This isn't just the internet that's been saying this shit. We know two people.
We know people.
We know two people that have said this shit, and we're like, you can't. Like, we're not saying that you can't, but we're saying really
like how you live your life right now,
Yeah.
and how you like have your amenities and your conveniences.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
My mom is the biggest one.
People are suckers for conveniences.
Yeah, my mom is and I want to say this because my mom is the biggest sucker about this. Like she lived in Oklahoma City for a long time. She moved to Oregon to
She's always lived in big cities.
Yeah, a good enough convenience town and cities and shit. And so she wanted to move out here. She wanted to be closer to her grandkids, all this
You
and that.
warned her
And I
before she
did.
even moved out
I
here
was
that
like,
this
is not a place.
Yeah, this is not a city. This is a little inconvenient town. There is no conveniences here.
Yeah, and so she moves out here, and then she realizes how inconvenient it is for her.
Yeah, there's no local bus. There's barely any kind of transit at all.
Mm-hmm. And everything is a good distance away.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's 35 miles for us to
Get to any major city.
Yeah, and so she's just like, this sucks. Now she's moved. She moved into a city, which is like, okay, that's fine.
Good for you.
But then she's just sitting there like, I can't believe that you want to live in that town. It's just so inconvenient. There's nothing there. There's nothing to do and all. And I'm like...
And everyone's just so mean. It's like, no, you're mean.
Yeah.
We're just all about locals. You know, like,
Mhm.
we're very proud of our little town.
Yeah, she's like, you grew up in cities. Why the hell did you want to move out there? And I'm like, well, because I like the quiet. I like small town.
I like the community.
Yeah,
it's a
I
community. Everybody knows everybody. And I know people who are from the city are just like, that's so annoying and kind of cringy, and I don't like that. And it's like, well,
Then stay where
then
you are.
stay in the city, buddy.
But these people that see these shows that are just like, oh my god, now I want to go and try to have me a little farm and shit. If you are sitting here relying on Grubhub or DoorDash or food services and shit like that,
Yeah, any kind of food service, any kind of transit service.
any kind of services at all that come to your door, don't move to the f***ing country, because out here you have to work for everything that you have,
If you
no
can't
matter
do
what it is.
If you can't do it yourself and you can't work with, if like talking to a individual, haggling or bartering or
Mm-hmm.
or like
Trade, anything like that.
anything like that stresses you out or gives you anxiety, you would not make it a
Mhm.
month in a small town.
No. So just do us all a favor. Let that be a dream and an aspiration for yourself in your big city living that you wish you could always do. But if you're not willing to put in the work, stay the out. Okay.
Really, I'll be problem. I have anxiety sometimes about talking to people, but in small towns like this, you have to talk to people, and it's not like I need this done. Okay, we'll get that done right away. No, it's a communication. Like, you have to talk and be friendly, and
Mhm.
it's like you can't just be like, "Here's the job, get it done for me," because I'm the consumer. Nope.
Yeah.
You will never get service in this town at all if you act like that.
Another prime example is this dude that came here from a big city and was just like, he's so used to convenience, everything being right there down the street from him. And when I was helping him get out here, I was like, dude, because he kept saying like, oh man, I'm gonna miss not having a Burger King, I'm gonna miss not having a mall right by me and all this and that. And he's just like, man, this is gonna suck. And so he gets out here, and I was like, well,
It's even worse than he thought.
yeah, he's just like, oh my god. And I was like, well, you know, we don't just sit around all day and expect things to happen. Like, we actually put in work. Everything that you get out here, you have to work for it.
Weirdly enough, and this is like, I'm a big girl. I like food. The food one always throws me off when people come here in our small town, and they're just like, man, there's no fast foods here. It's like, we have a KFC, a Taco Bell, a McDonald's,
a Sonic.
Yeah, we got a fucking Sonic. We got a Brahms. Like, we got so many fast food places here.
Mhm.
That's a lot to me.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Having 5 is a lot to me.
Oh yeah.
Like, we have 5 choices.
Plus food trucks and all that kind of
we
stuff.
got all types of food trucks. We've got quite a few restaurants. There's lots of food here.
Oh yeah.
But to people from the city, there's nothing here.
Yeah. I don't have a TGI Fridays or Red Lobsters and shit. And it's like, well, where's the closest one? Well, that's going to be about 40 minutes away.
Yeah, where's the Panera Bread?
That's going to be another 50 minutes away.
But my thing is cooking. Like, sorry, I guess you're going to have to learn how to cook. You know? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, cook. What's wrong? I love cooking. Like, why do people not want to cook anymore?
I don't know. I really don't.
Why does no one want to cook?
But there are some people that shouldn't cook, because I've seen some of those videos of people cooking
Oh my
food
God.
that I'm like, bleh.
Yes. I will never get over the raw chicken and peanut butter video.
Oh my god, that was so disgusting. But all we're saying is that don't be gullible and fall for the first thing that you see. Do some research. Get out there and check it out for yourself. then just prioritize your time. If you're having a hard time getting it out there because you can't do it that day, but you got a little bit of time you know you can do in the morning, go do it then. Try to get it done. Prioritize your time, and can make it work for you so you
and
can
I like
actually
to
be
sleep,
happy.
so I'm prioritizing sleep. God damn it.
Yeah, like right now you're prioritizing. You're like, all right, I'll get up early to do this episode,
but tomorrow I'm sleeping in. God damn it.
But that's
my priority.
Yeah. So for this year, guys, I know that we're trying to, or the companies, the corporations are trying to skip over Thanksgiving and shit, and I know not everybody has good relationships with their families, but you know what? If you're able to sit down at a table and everybody have a good time, do this.
Oh.
Put away your phones, sit down, and actually talk to each other and see how everything is. And if people don't want to talk, tell them, hey, there's a food pantry you can go to or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But just enjoy the family time. Put down the technology.
And family is not
enjoy
always blood either. We've had plenty of wonderful Thanksgivings where it was just me. It was just us and a bunch of friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we used to do that all the time.
Like, there was no blood relative there besides our own kids, of course. But, like, we were all just a bunch of friends who had everybody had their kid, or they didn't have any kids yet. And we just all got together and had a big old Thanksgiving, and it was great. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I make the best turkey ever. I don't know anybody who's made a better turkey than me.
That is true. But I am going, like, when we did that, we also would be like, hey, it's bring your own dish. Like, bring a dish.
Bring a dish.
I'm making the turkey. Dish will be able to help feed everybody.
Yeah, I make the turkey, and then like maybe 2 other dishes, but you got to bring at least 1 dish.
Yeah, and we used to give people hazing if they came to our meals, our cookouts, or our Thanksgiving, and they would bring those fucking like Walmart little dishes of macaroni or potato salad and shit.
I never hazed nobody.
I did. I'm like, come on, man. You could have put a little bit more effort into this. There's things that's called cookbooks.
That was you. That was you for sure. And I'm just, and my thing, I like to tell them, and this is something me and my sister do now, is if you don't know how, or if you are not really sure, bring all the ingredients uncooked and come early.
Yeah.
Come early, bring it all uncooked, come early, and I will show you. We will do it together.
Yep.
And then my sister and I, that's just tradition now. We just have all the ingredients. We all get together early in the morning, and we just cook the shit out of all of our food together.
Yep.
So that's our Thanksgiving thing, is the cooking part. Me and my sisters love to cook.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's all we're saying is call prioritizing some time too, because now you're making time for your family.
Yeah, it's not just about eating together. It's about like making the food together, prepping things and all that. Like, what are you gonna make? What are you gonna make?
Yeah, it's making memories. That's what time is. So just do it the best you can, man. Do it the best you can.
And something I really enjoy is that my children will be able to cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that.
They're getting better.
Yeah, they're getting real good. Like, especially the youngest one. She knows how to cook.
She
can be. We have a gas stove, so it is a little scary sometimes to them, but they know how to cook, and I thought it was really impressive for an 8 and 10-year-old.
Oh yeah. So, well, I think we're kind of done with this one.
Oh yeah, we're just rambling at this point. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just get off the betting apps. Go to a casino. Go to a scratch off. Get away from the phone plans. Go with the cheapest thing you can, especially with the way the economy is nowadays.
You go through so many phones every year anyways. Why not just stick with cheap ones?
Yeah, that way if you break them, you're not like, oh man, what
you're
am
like,
I going to do?
I'm so devastated. My $9,000 phone is busted.
And I'm only 2 months into my 3-year contract.
And when it sucks, they're like, oh man, that sucks. It'll be $500 to fix that.
Yeah.
Like, but I already have a contract with you. It should be free. It should be free. Oh, that's not in the contract. You still got to pay.
Mm-hmm. So
it's
just... Yeah, you know what? Just do better, people. Just do better. I'm just kidding. No, guys, enjoy your holidays. Please make sure that you're being safe. And if you have any good drink recipes that you would like to be like, hey, this is a good like Thanksgiving or a Christmas one or New Year's, because New Year's is coming up, please leave us a comment down below. But if you guys have some good Thanksgiving horror stories or some just stories of Black Friday.
I want a Christmas horror story. Send me your Christmas horror story.
I want a Black Friday horror story. Like, I want to hear one of the craziest Black Friday stories you got. And if you send it in early enough, we'll try to get it out before Black Friday comes so people can hear how devastating this thing is. And, but you can always leave us an email at the callingcouplepod@gmail.com so we can hear those crazy-ass stories and see what you had to deal with. But other than that, we are going to go ahead and end this one. But I will say this: if you would like to actually see us, like in video, not in person,
well, you know what I mean.
Video, so
In
you're not
video.
just staring at our background, our logo.
Not
and
that
stuff.
it's not a lovely picture.
I know. Thank you, Pastel Peach, for it. But if you would like to see us actually start doing some video recordings of us talking about topics and shit, we need to get to 500 subscribers. So please, by all means, get us out there, help us out, and help us build this channel so you guys can see our ugly ass mugs and continue on.
Yeah, go make some fake accounts and subscribe to us and all that.
Yeah, there you go. I will take it. So we need 500 before we were able to actually do that. So far, we are still in the low numbers.
So to
But-
get low.
But we do appreciate all you guys' help, and we do appreciate you guys chiming in, listening in. So thank you so much. Other than that, let's
Punch in the face.
get through this cold ass weather because goddamn it's cold already.
Caca!